What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 8 of Aiming Up with Kenneth and Trey. With you, as always, is Trey Bruffey and Kenneth Almond. How's everything going, man? It's been a
Really
couple
good.
weeks since we talked on here, so
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm thankful for Christmas and the New Year and stuff. And we've got some cool stuff going on with my business that we can talk about a little bit. And family's good. The whole car accident thing is kind of blown over, and things
good.
are in a better spot. So that's all I can really, you know, say. It's weird. It's 2026. It's weird for me
Yep.
because like a blink of an eye, we were in COVID. It's like 2020 was
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
It still feels like it was kind of yesterday a little bit sometimes,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it feels like it's a decade ago. But I don't know. Ultimately, like I'm trying to be present every day and just make sure I'm not missing things that I feel like I've met. Like the first part of 2025 before I began, I don't remember much of it. And then post Ibogaine, it feels like I was very intentional every day and
Yeah.
trying to be present every day, trying to make sure that I'm like paying attention to my wife and my kid and my dogs and the people in my life that matter and my clients and stuff. And I just want to continue that going into 2026.
Yeah.
What about you?
Holiday.
What'd you say?
How was y'all's holiday?
Oh, it was good. It was pretty chill. We didn't get landed until Christmas Eve. And then he stayed with us for like 4 days or 5 days. But he was sick with flu the whole time.
Yeah.
So we uh we pumped him full of a bunch of um vitamins and stuff, and he was able to recover fairly quickly in relative terms to who he got it from.
Yeah.
And then we were able to kind of stay healthy thanks to some of your advice. And we were taking thymosin alpha 1, the two of us, pretty heavily for a few days there.
No.
And Christmas in general, I got some new headphones, which I'm not actually wearing them on the call or on the podcast right now because they are better for training than they are for
Yeah.
this type of thing. And so I got those, got some socks that I love and some underwear, old man stuff. And my kiddo, he got some pretty cool stuff. He got some Jordans. He got this really annoying, I mean, absolutely the most annoying toy I think that's ever existed in the history of annoying toys. Actually, it's two of them. They compete with each other. They're pretty rough. And honestly, like, here's one of the problems, Trey. Like, you get married and you think you know your spouse, right? Like, I'm sure you're like, I know Val like the back of my hand, baby. Like, I know what she's going to do, how she's going to do it, what she's going to say, all that stuff. You know, I felt the same way until I trusted my wife with buying gifts unsupervised or unapproved by me because these two gifts she bought him and they are horrible. I mean, they're just, I looked at her, I was like, what were you thinking? She was like, I had no idea that they were going to sound like this. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, granted, there's one that it looks like a parachute,
Hmm.
but it's like a plastic parachute and it has like a little, almost like a, shoot, like a pogo stick on the bottom of it.
Okay.
And so like it's a drone thing that like bounces and it spins and it flies and stuff. And dude, it sounds like a weed whacker. It sounds like a weed whacker, like the entire time it's on. It is horrible. I mean, I can't. it'll break my soul. I'm telling you, it's like one of the worst things that I've ever heard in my life. And the sad thing is, the neighborhood that we live in, we have landscape people who do landscape stuff,
Yeah, it's like ours. Yeah.
and I don't know what's going on. I feel like somebody's coming for me, man, because it's like these landscapers. There's like 20 weed whacker dudes,
Yeah. That's how it is here.
and they are literally weed whacking. They will choose to weed whack a section of grass that you can actually mow, and I'm like, I need this noise to stop, or I'm going to lose my mind. So it's oh man, it's something else. So when Donna brought in that toy, I felt like she has joined the men with the weed whackers to drive me insane. And it's just, oh gosh, we ultimately, I tell you what happened. He was playing with it outside because I was like, bro, I got to work. Like this is nonstop crazy. So, and for everybody that's listening, Trey is like laughing out loud, but he's got it muted, so you can't hear him. But anyway, the whole thing is he's outside, he's playing with it, and the next thing I hear is like, oh man, and I walk outside, and that thing's in the gutter of the roof. It is so awful. Like when I looked up there, I was like, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That's Jesus looking out for me right there. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. So we left it up there. I was like, bro, I'm not going up there to get it yet. Not yet. It's not that I wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
Because I love him. But so there was one day where Donna had enough, which I thought was funny too, where she hid it. So Landon goes looking for it, looking for it, looking for it. And he asked Donna, he's like, where is it? And she's like, I put it up someplace. And he's like, what? He's he's like, what'd you do? She said, I hid it. You can't find it. And he's like, oh man, are you kidding me? And she's like, no, I'm done with that toy for right now. So ultimately she gave it back to him. But before she gave it back to him, she told him where she put it. So then, which I wouldn't have done, by the way,
Right. Yeah.
that would have been the secret hiding place for the rest of her life. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So then you go into the day that he loses it in the gutter. Well, he comes in one day, or he come like so it's like the next day or something, and he's like, "Does anybody know where my drone is?" I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't." And he goes upstairs and he talks to Don. He comes back downstairs. He's like, "Did you hide my drone?" I was like, "Bro, no." I was like, "Last time I saw it was in the gutter." And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh, it's still in the gutter. We left it out there." So, but I had to leave for something, and he ultimately got it himself. He got a little step stool, and I think maybe Donna got it or something. But anyway, that's been limited use from there. Then here's the other toy. It's karaoke, bro. It's one of those freaking microphones that literally has like it literally has the music coming out of your phone going out of this microphone, but it has some sort of language. Like it's a different language. Like it's like, what is going on? Is this made for French people or something? Like there was all kinds of different accents and stuff. And next thing I know, like the two of them are singing, oh man, into these microphones. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is like there's like layers to hell, I think. If you ever read Dante's Inferno, it's like
Yeah. It's
one
like
and two.
you're at the point when the locusts come down and everybody wants to die, but they can't die. That's you right now. Yeah. Say it. They will be begging to die, but cannot.
So it's just been something. But luckily, it's been fairly quiet the last couple of days. I think Donna's had her fill too. which is nice. But I looked at her and I was just like, I can't trust you next year. I
Yeah.
can't. I'm gonna have to. I need. There's an approval process that needs to be put in place for Landon's toys,
Yeah.
and he got a Kindle, and he got some other random stuff too. Um, Ultimately, uh, he's he's feeling better, and that's all that matters. So,
Is he nine?
what about
Is he 9 or 10?
he's 10? He's
10.
10 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a
So
fourth
how?
grader?
Yep, fourth grade.
Okay.
Fourth
Okay.
grade. He's at a sixth grade reading level, and he's at a sixth grade math or seventh grade math level.
That's
Kid's
good.
crazy smart.
Hmm. I had
So
a fourth grade reading level when I was a senior in high school.
yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't learn to
did
read
I
until I was like second grade, give or take.
did I tell you about? Okay, so there's something that popped up, um, and I can't remember exactly where I heard it now. Oh, it was a sermon, is what it was. So the I was listening to Matt Chandler of Village Church
Hmm.
in Texas,
Okay.
and he was talking about like doing. He's actually talking about taking the fight to Satan. So like, a lot of Christians, they kind of just chill and like they kind of live their life, and you're just kind of
Yeah.
moving through the world and not trying to make any ruffles or whatever. And he's like, well, we're going to take the fight to Satan, and we're just going to take it into these neighborhoods, and we're going to share the gospel, and we're going to do what we can and all this other stuff. And he talks about this particular community, which I think was like 15 minutes away from the church. And they were going to buy a bunch of property and build homes and build a school or something in that area to help the underachieving children. Did you know that at fourth grade, the kids who do not read at a fourth grade level are more likely to be in jail? That's actually the marker in which they
Interesting.
determine how many people are going to be in the jail or in the prison system for that generation. So for the fact that you didn't read and you're not in jail, you're actually probably, man, you're a
I was a terrible
genius.
reader, dude. Yeah. I couldn't, I was so slow with it. I just say like after school, I had to do like I was in speech class, like speech therapy. I had to
Mhm.
do all that stuff growing up. I mean, I didn't learn to tie my shoes until I think I randomly figured it out when I was like second or third grade.
Really?
I was just a slow learner, but I think also I mean, that's so long ago. I don't remember my family actually sitting down and maybe they probably showed me, but obviously I didn't grasp it. I just remember being in elementary school and have to have
Well,
all my friends tie my shoes and shit
well,
because I
that's one
couldn't
of
do
the
it.
things.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things. Like when I think back about my childhood, right? Like, and I can sit there and talk to my mom about it, and she can kind of give me a little bit more insight now that we have a repaired relationship. But you know, I think it's like there are these stages of like I was delusional for years.
Yeah.
So like my delusion was my childhood was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like I thought like I had this awesome childhood up until I don't know, high school.
Yeah.
And then high school, like reality kind of hit. There were some things that were going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of a wild time. And then from there on, it was like my childhood sucked. Like that's all I thought about was like how bad it was.
Hmm.
And then now, after I've done Ibogaine and after I've kind of, I've repaired my relationship with my sister and my mom, there's some happy times in there that I can actually get access to, but I still remember the negative over and above the positive. And I kind of wonder maybe we can open this discussion up a little bit where, with clients, are I guess with humans, are we naturally seeking out the negative?
You
Are
know,
we
I was
naturally seeking out that stuff?
Yeah, I was talking about this with Jake. Um,
Keep talking. I'm gonna go grab my water.
yeah, I was talking about this with Jake Dolishal. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday. We were talking about a client of mine, and I was telling him he's aware of this client. We'll bounce ideas off of each other and things like that because that's kind of how we do my mentoring now, is just bounce ideas. And I was telling him like this client is just not okay being okay. Like they'll be feeling good and they just manage, oh, I'm gonna go try this or I'm gonna go do this or I'm gonna change this. And it's like they think they always need to feel miserable and always be negative or always be sick or whatever. And I think
That's where
there's
they're comfortable.
yeah, I think just all of us, like it's kind of like when somebody gives you 10 compliments and they give you one negative, we gravitate to that negative because I think just a lot of us don't like negativity. But I also think a lot of us are so used to all this chaos, we just want to stay in that negativity because
I kind of wonder.
it's almost like if you think about when you talk to people, almost every conversation you have, someone starts talking about something very negative. And it's almost like sometimes I'll talk to
Are they preparing for worst case scenario?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's that or if it's like um I think all of us have some level of negativity in our life or negative things. But sometimes it feels like it's almost like a competition. You know what I mean? Like you'll say,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah,
it
I'm going
depends
through
on who
this," and
you're
like,
talking
"Oh well,
to.
yeah, I get
Yeah,
that. I'm going through this." And it's like,
yeah, it
are you
depends.
actually going through that, or is it just like competition? I don't know because I notice the same thing. Like when I talk to anyone, usually there is some level of negativity with
Right,
it, and I don't
right.
know what it is. Um, but I see with clients all the time. It's almost like they're not okay with life being okay. Not having a bunch of craziness going on in their life.
Yeah, so. I think it's two things. I think there's two types of people. I think well, the one type, and I used to be this. I think where you've had so much happen to you
Yeah.
that your comfort zone is chaos or negative stuff. And I'll give you an example. This is a funny example. Um, so prior to meeting Donna, my experience in relationships was very not, there wasn't very many fights. There wasn't very many arguments. You know, my first and second marriage, it was like, my first marriage was, I just don't think we communicated very well at all. And then the second marriage was, I think we, she probably kept from saying certain things to set me off. Right. So like, and she was very cautious sometimes about the
Kind of
way
keep
that
like
she was.
peace, just to keep.
Yeah, she's a peacekeeper, 100%. And
Yeah.
I think I was to a degree too, but I was probably the more volatile one in the relationship. So anyway, as I've grown and changed, and I met Donna, I remember there was one time that she brought something up that it was going to be an argument,
Yeah.
and boy, it was like watching. You ever seen a dog get settled in like a comfy spot? Like sometimes like they'll
Yeah.
kind of like dig the blanket up, and they're like
Oh,
bunching the blanket up, and then they like settle down and they
yep.
sink down in it. That's what I saw her do in this argument, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good.
You're in foreign territory.
She's comfortable here,
Yeah.
and I'm not, and I want to get through this as fast as I possibly can. And so that was a point of contention where I was trying to jump over the argument to get to the other side, but
Right.
she was like, "Nah, we're going to settle in here. We're going to have this negative situation happen, and I'm going to feel real comfortable with it until you're comfortable with it."
Yep.
And so I think there's certain people that have like a certain comfortability around negative or arguments or chaos or whatever, and they settle into it. And then there's the other side where they're just looking for worst possible case scenario because they're so scarred that they just think something's negative is going to happen. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. And kind of like, I wouldn't say, because I'm trying to think with me, like a common, and we've talked about this, common theme I've heard from other individuals that don't matter are that I'm a negative person.
Yeah,
And I carry myself as a negative person. I wouldn't say as a negative person. I'm just a realist. Like,
sure.
why I'm the guy, like, there's some people that are scared to death. I'm the guy, I'm like, I cannot wait to be on the yellow brick road and dab up Jesus and go on our way. Like, that's just
Right.
how I am. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. That's probably a good thing, but there's probably some like trauma there. And
Sure.
I think, at least with me, that's where some people get it confused about like, oh, Trey is very negative, or he comes across negative or angry. And it's like, it's not so much that. First of all, it's like the tone of my voice and how I carry myself. The other thing is just
Yeah,
like,
you
I'm
have
a,
a. I think what you have is you have a you can have a monotone tone sometimes. So
yeah,
it's not all the time, but it's also your southern, right? Like, and people
yeah,
don't know in the way that you talk, you have this blended like Midwestern and
yeah,
Virginia
yeah,
thing now. You're no longer like West Virginia kind of
yeah,
kid, but you have this West Virginia kind of um what would I call it? Cadence. You have a West Virginia
yeah,
cadence.
yeah, yeah,
So when you have that West Virginia cadence, and I don't mean West Virginia State, Western Virginia.
yeah,
So, and that it's different. It's
yeah,
completely different. And so when you have that, and then when you get real comfortable and you're not in some sort of public setting, the Roanoke, Virginia starts to come out.
yeah,
And it's like,
yes, yeah,
okay, okay, okay. And then, but
right,
then it's so people don't understand when they listen to you because it's confusing because you have to know that part of that state and what it sounds like.
yeah,
And you also have to kind of know what Ohio sounds like too.
yeah.
So a lot of people just don't understand it's a lot of the way you just it's the way you talk.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I don't know, I would say like I'm like a mix of those two of just everything. I'm
Hmm.
just like always like one, I'm always preparing myself for the absolute worst.
Yeah. So
If I
you're
can.
in that camp.
But then
You're in
there's
that
other
camp of
time
like,
but there's
right.
other times like I know when Valor and I first started dating, I had obviously came out of like a really toxic relationship and I was very broken and I continued to break more with poor decisions. I would say the same thing. Like we would things would be good and I would like be like, is everything good? Like I don't see chaos right now. Like are you sure everything's fine? And it's improved through counseling. And obviously we're coming up on like 8 years. We've been me and her have been together. So
Do
it's
you think it's so the relationships that you've said you've been in and the way you've described them, it's like roller coaster ride, right?
mm,
And you kind of expect a roller coaster ride to some degree. So when there's not a roller coaster ride, then it feels uncomfortable
mhm,
because you don't have the high dopamine high of like really great times. And then the crash, which is a really weird feeling.
yeah.
And then you have that high again. So it's this up and down. And then, but when you get into a secure relationship, it's just this like
Yeah.
across. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just
Yeah.
one level all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what security feels like, right? But a lot of people aren't comfortable with that because it's not what they've experienced. So in the big scheme of things, they're more comfortable riding the roller coaster. And that's why I'm saying like there's Donna in that old version of her. She's like, "Ooh, I'm settling into this one. I'm gonna strap into this roller
Right.
coaster because I'm about to ride it."
Right.
And like I'm the one that's jumping off of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I
because
think
the
you'll go. I'll
Go
let you go.
ahead. No, go
You
ahead.
no, because I was gonna change something else. What you say?
So I think ultimately the last thing I'll say about it is the other relationships I was in, they weren't necessarily secure or good. We were just peacekeepers. So then it felt
Mhm.
like it was, there was no up and down. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like you had said like it's like, uncomfortable and things are just not blah,
Right.
but steady.
Right.
It's the same thing with work. Like I'm the guy that likes to stay busy because it keeps
Hmm.
my mind at ease. Because if it's not busy, I start thinking, is this really okay? Do I need to do that? I get going. So it's like even with work, like I look at my email today. For whatever reason, no one decided to check in today. I do not know why. There's like two or three, but they're all supposed to
Well, it's
be.
January 2nd.
Dude, like, no, it's just no. Like, they were all supposed to check in Monday and some Friday, and just no one's doing it. I'm like, I'm not going to reach out and cause more work.
I
But
don't
then
e
I look at
well,
it
well, the way
today.
I look at it is if you reach out and you touch base with them, most of the time when I reach out and touch base with somebody, they run the other way.
Mhm,
They don't
mhm.
come to me. They don't
Yeah,
actually do what I ask. They
yeah,
run the opposite end. So it's
yeah.
like, what am I doing here? I'm not going to call
So then I'm like, okay, well, I need
them.
to find a little bit of work to do today. And like I have a few things I can get done. But yeah, I would say I'm like that with like the negativity. Like all of this is just like I like to keep busy or keep something going
Sure.
all the time. That's why like with our Christmas, it
Because you
was
don't
good. Like
sit in your shit.
right, yeah, yeah. Because like our Christmas, we just went to Valerie's parents. It was fine, no issues there. And then my mom came into town the next day.
How
Um,
is she doing, by the way?
Good. She ended up having a reaction to like the sulfa drug. They ruled out the Steven Johnson's syndrome or whatever. They don't really know what it was, but I don't understand why doctors use the sulfa things because if there's a medicine I see someone have a reaction to and they end up in the hospital, it's always a sulfa drug. And I don't know. She had like double pneumonia and then they found like nodules on her lungs and they found, I can't remember what else. So that's why they put her on the drug originally. But they put her on something else. I don't know. I don't know what it is now. I need to check base. Um, but she came in on the 26th with my sister. Um, and it surprisingly went well. Like I think I mentioned it last time. I hadn't, but I think I told on the last podcast. I haven't talked to them in like 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, Wednesday the 31st would have been 3 years to the day. It actually went really, really well. And I don't
Really?
know. Yeah, and I don't know if it's because, I was talking to
You have
Valerie.
Jesus now? Is that why?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if it's because like because my mom had asked like was there anything in particular she'd done? She's like, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. And we haven't talked because I didn't feel comfortable talking because my sister was here. It's not fair to like
Hmm.
get involved in that. But I was like telling Valerie about this. I was like, there wasn't like a set thing with anything. I was just trying to get away from all negativity, all family stuff because I really need to work on me. And that was right before I came home full time. I was stressing out and very worried about a very big risk I was doing there. We had just we'd only been in our house for a couple of months or 3 or 4 months. So like it's just different than when you're renting and everything. It just things can change. And I think part of it was thinking about that, but I think the other part is like we're coming up on almost 3 years of consistently seeing my counselor every week, sometimes 3 times per week.
Yeah.
Usually it's like once. And I think a lot of it was me growing in that area,
Right.
being
Right.
able to unpack and think about things. I think they grew a lot as well. So it actually went really well. It wasn't a bad time. There's other
I,
stuff
th-
I've got to unpack, but I think
I think
over.
what happens is, and this is just some old man wisdom here. Um, so my mom and I stopped talking in probably 2020 or 2021.
Yeah,
And my sister and I stopped talking right around the same time. And my dad and I stopped talking earlier than that.
yeah.
And what what you said earlier was you needed to take a break from all the family stuff and work on yourself. And like sometimes it's hard to articulate that, right? Because you have all these emotions that are entertained, like intertwined with other
Yep.
stuff. So ultimately, like anytime, like I always tell people, you're not necessarily cutting them off forever,
Mm-mm.
but having a boundary in place for, a significant period of time is for your mental health.
Yeah.
And like, not only that, but like sometimes the lack of presence in their life requires them to grow.
And I think that's part of it too.
Right.
Because I was like
Right.
thinking about it, like my sisters. I think she turns 24 or 25 tomorrow. So like that,
She's a
she's obviously not a
youngin'.
21-year-old anymore. She's grown. Like
Yeah.
obviously females mature a lot faster. And then my mom's had time to figure out whatever. I think all of us were in a state of life where it's like all the drama and stuff in family. There's obviously more to unpack, but I think like this year I'm gonna try to not try, I'm gonna make a attempt to improve in that area. Try to talk, figure out some things, see where things are at. Because Valerie and I are hoping like this past holiday was like our last holiday without a kid.
Yep.
And as we like go into like the fertility stuff throughout the year. And
Well,
that's
what are
one
you
of the
guys
things.
doing? Are you just gonna kind of coach her a little bit?
What, Valerie? Or what?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I gotta pull some labs. I think honestly, if there's gonna be an issue having kids, it's gonna be on me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is, which
You need
luckily
some HMG, some
well,
HCG.
man, like I'm trying to think how many cases I had this past year that I worked with them on fertility, but every case I had, we got through it. Some we use HCG, HMG. Others we just used L-carnitine, black seed oil, um, pycnogenol, pregnenolone, and then some we didn't need anything. I just told them stop.
Stop doing stupid
Try.
stuff.
Well, no, no. A lot of them I kept on cycle or kept on their TRT. I never pull them off of it, but I just said
That's what I
stop.
usually do too.
I said stop stressing about trying to have a kid, and I provide all the data. And what do you know? Every single time they end up pregnant, and it's because it's like the stress of having a kid stresses your body out even more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Can you say that louder for the
yeah,
people in the
yeah.
back? I
That's what
mean,
it
my
is.
gosh,
Yeah,
it
like
is such a real thing.
it's that, and I had one scenario. Yeah, it was one scenario last year. I told them, I was like, listen, like it was a husband wife I was working with. And I told the wife, I said, listen, when you're using your husband as an item to just have a kid, it stresses him out. And I'm telling you, it does impact your ability to have a kid. I said, so you
Yes.
need to keep dating. You need to keep being with each other. And
Yeah.
in that scenario, I didn't give them anything to do. I gave her a prenatal because I felt there were some habits that she needed to improve on. Did she improve on them? No, but there's nothing I can do there. And then with him, I said just straight up, you don't need to do anything. You need to chill out. If you chill out, it will work all the time.
And have sex with your wife.
Right.
Like, actually have sex with her. Don't like,
Right.
don't just, what is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
transactional
Don't
thing
put it on the
happening?
calendar and do everything. So I
Right.
think with us, it'll just be like, it's going to be on me getting better sleep, de-stressing, not worrying about everything. I'll try to do everything I can naturally. And then if I have to go the HCG, HMG route, I'll do it. I don't think I'll have to, but
Well, speaking of sleep, let me tell you, your boy over here just knocking out the sleep scores. I'm looking up on my
oh,
watch,
really?
by the way. Oh, yeah. So you remember we were talking about my sleep apnea and the the plan that I was going to do. I was going to do the intake breathing
Yeah.
plastic strip with the magnetic things, and then I was going to do mouth tape. And the mouth tape that I chose has a little hole,
Yeah.
so like you can breathe a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
And so last night, my sleep score, bro, you see that 94? Oh man, it blacked out. It's 94. The night before was 99. I have like totally,
Are you feeling better?
completely, oh, night and
Yeah.
day, night
Yeah.
and day. It's like in the
Once you
gym
get in your
yesterday.
cut, you'll feel
Oh,
better too.
oh, bro, I got to tell you this too, bro. So I did a little experiment yesterday, and it's your inadvertent advice. So everybody, listen up. So you have said to me that pycnogenol and melatonin, and there was one other thing I took before training.
Hmm. Did you do PA, cordyceps? What did you do?
PA.
Yeah.
I took PA. I took pycnogenol. I took 200 milligrams of pycnogenol. I took 400 milligrams of PA. Maybe it's 600. I kind of high
It
dosed
was
it.
600. It would have been probably 600. I
It's
guess.
600 or something like that. And then I did the other one. It
Melatonin.
just slipped my mind again.
Melatonin.
Melatonin. I did 10 milligrams of melatonin.
How'd it go?
Dude, I rocked it in the
I
gym,
told
man.
you. I'm telling you, dude.
It's like it was like a complete different me in the gym.
I'm telling you.
Like, and even from a recovery standpoint, there was like I'm
It's
not
way better.
sore,
Yeah.
and I wasn't like broken yesterday,
Yeah.
bro. It was wild.
Yeah. It works. Like I've been given that because that's like the pre-workout stuff we're trying to do. Um, we're hoping to build something on that.
Dude,
But
it was crazy.
that like cordyceps with it, something Jake and I have been talking about. Have you ever looked into pro-resolving mediators? So SPM, I think it's SPMs.
Uh-uh.
Metagenics does one. It's like ungodly expensive, but Life Extension does it one. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same one they use in the studies. I used to use it years ago with injuries, or like if it was like a crazy intestinal permeability case, I would do like a priming phase of like SPMs, um, curcumin, boswellia, quercetin, and BPC for like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And what Jake and I have been talking about is like, what can we use to work on inflammation without totally limiting it? And SPMs were one of
Right.
the things we were talking about. Um, but I'm curious what would happen if you run that what you did yesterday for like 4 weeks. See how you feel.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I feel
Yeah,
I'm hyped up about going to the gym today. I'm gonna do the same thing, but I haven't gone yet.
yeah.
So, um,
Because if I do the melatonin, I usually only tell them to do like 3 milligrams. But I think one of the studies they went pretty high. I don't remember. Maybe it was 10 milligrams. I don't remember what they did.
so this is I'm gonna own this. So with the melatonin, the the higher dose is a really high antioxidant effect,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Um, so ultimately, um, when I use it, I'll use it at night, and I'll take like 30 milligrams
Yep.
from adding antioxidant support,
Yeah.
and like I don't like it. I don't need it to fall asleep per se, but I use it for that specifically,
Yeah.
and also try to make sure my circadian rhythms
Yeah.
in in the right spot. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you take melatonin and your body gets used to it or whatever, and
Mm-mm.
whatever the right.
Yeah. They also
So
say like you shouldn't take it longer than a few weeks, but like there's zero research that shows you have to stop it.
right, exactly. So there's a lot of negative conversation around melatonin. I've never found any negative
Mm.
when I use it. So I use it like 30 to 40 milligrams at night. And so when I get it at 10 milligrams. And so for me, I was like, let me just take 10 milligrams and see how it goes. And I'm telling you, bro, like I felt freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like my range of motion was better. My recovery today has been better. Like everything has been
Yeah. And you
completely
probably didn't even
changed.
feel drowsy
No,
either. Yeah, that's what it
no.
kills me when people think of like melatonin, they think of it as a sleep supplement, but it's not, it's literally not a sleep supplement. It's the same thing like magnesium is not a sleep supplement or glycine. Like none of that is like a sleep supplement. They can assist with better sleep, but they're not a sleep supplement. Because when I was talking to some of my clients with the pre-workout melatonin, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to fall asleep when I'm driving." I'm like, "That's not how it works. Like, you're not going to take
Right.
3, 4, however many milligrams of melatonin and automatically fall asleep. Not especially
Right.
not in
That's
the
what
middle
I
of the day.
thought. Right.
No. Mm-mm.
So anyway, the bottom line is with all of it, like I just and I gave you all this credit to
I
my
appreciate
my workout partner too. I was like, bro, let me tell you, this guy freaking is telling me the stuff, and I was like, I believe him. I was like, anytime he talks to me, I believe him about things, and but ultimately I didn't know what to expect. And so he was, joking and laughing yesterday. He was like, oh, yeah, well, you're just gonna fall asleep and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't feel drowsy at all.
it. Yeah.
And then by the end of the training session, who did more of everything?
Yeah. Right.
Me.
Right. And that's what like with this pre-workout that we've been talking about, it's like it's not a formula that and we've been trying to
It's not
modify
gonna
it.
get you all jacked up.
No, but it's not a formula that like an American's gonna look at and like, oh, this I want this formula. They're gonna put it back and like, oh, I'm gonna go get C4 or whatever because they see all the
Mhm.
stimulus.
C4.
Yeah, right. It's one of those. It would be one of those formulas where it's like the consumer has to actually understand
What it is.
why it's strategically being used that way, and that's why when I've been chatting with the guys about it, I was like, hey, we really need to put some of these ingredients in there as well from the pump side and neurological side because that is going to be what sells. They're
So
still going
does
to be effective,
so
but
does any of do any of those things affect pump?
pycnogenol would
Okay, in what
100%.
way?
To me, from a blood flow perspective, because like pycnogenol is like one of the first things I'll give to people if like they have like ED.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I'll usually use that like arterial protect supplement from like
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
Gotu
yeah, yeah.
Kola and
Okay.
yeah, pycnogenol.
Yeah.
100% is from
Okay.
that aspect. But pycnogenol, you're getting benefits with oxidative stress as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 100% with pump because like if I have a enhanced guy or any guy that says, "Hey, I have ED," I'm like, "Well, first let's unpack what is going on." And if
Hmm.
they're worried it's like a blood flow, I'm like, "Okay, well, let's throw in some pycnogenol. Let's do like 10
So
milligram or
let's
50
jump into
grams
that.
of
Let's
sync."
jump into that conversation real quick.
Yeah,
So you got dudes with ED. What give the top three or the top
things.
reasons why there's ED?
So the first thing everybody's gonna think is it's like low testosterone. They think that with ED or libido
Right.
and everything. I would argue it's not that. I would say it's usually gonna be stress first. It's gonna be the top reason.
Right.
Second reason, maybe it's a blood
So
flow
so
issue.
let's take it one by one.
Yeah.
So you have one person that's super stressed and you're having this conversation, right? Well, when you're having that conversation, what are your immediate, granted, other than like stress management tools, from a supplement perspective, what are you immediately going to put in?
Good question. I don't know. I've never given them a direct supplement for that. I mean,
Even from like a,
maybe black seed oil would work.
what about like an ashwagandha or something like that, or like a
I wouldn't do ashwagandha. I'm always
rhodiola,
worried about the
rhodiola.
post benefit post things of that. I would honestly, if it were me, it'd be like a theanine. Something
Okay,
that's going to calm them that they can take. They're naturally going to calm down.
okay,
It would be that because when I think of someone that is stressed and they have ED, are they having ED because they're stressed, or are they having ED a little bit, or they had a one-off incident and then they got stressed and now they're ruminating on it. It's like this ED stressed worry cycle. So what
yeah.
is the first thing I do? It'd be cool, maybe like some theanine to chill them out and just get them
So
relaxed.
so I have and I might have stolen this from you, so I'll just give you the credit just in case. Um, it was either you or Austin, one of the two. But sometimes I'll have really stressed out girls,
Hmm.
and I'll have them take L-theanine and then GABA together
Yep.
throughout the day.
Yep.
And so it's like L-theanine and GABA in the morning, L-theanine and GABA in the middle of the day,
Yep.
L-theanine and GABA in the evening. Would you do that with a man too?
Probably what I usually use instead of GABA is passion flower. I think I
Oh,
told you about that, didn't I?
well, you told me at night. Yeah,
Yeah, I would probably use that because if I recall, I'm pretty sure that helps with, let me make sure. Yeah, it helps get GABA actually in the brain and you get
yeah,
some of the calming benefits. I'd probably go that route, but that's just because with GABA, I like, I don't know, have you ever had guys get like or guys or gals get like the flushing effect?
yeah. Well, sometimes I do, but I like the way it
Well,
feels.
you see, usually people like it, but I've had people that get flushing from like, let's say GABA or like B vitamins and they freak out. They
Mm.
worry something's wrong.
Yeah, no, the GABA makes me feel like, especially when I get it at night, it's like, oh yeah, it's time to go to
Yeah. So like,
bed.
I think you could do the theanine and the GABA, or I like theanine and passion flower. That's usually what
Mm.
I would do. Because with passion flower, they would get at least get a little bit of benefits from like the aromatization benefits.
Right.
It's
No,
minor.
that makes sense.
So I guess from stress, you could probably do something like that and then get them to chill out and not worry
And
about
that
them.
that's the most difficult part, which they
Yeah.
have to kind of decide to do. So then you have the so what's the second thing? Blood flow?
I would say blood flow. Like, I truly don't think if someone has low T, yes, there would be a libido issue for some. But I've also seen guys with absolutely crash test levels have zero issues with libido or anything like that. That's why my first thought isn't like they need testosterone. That's
I've
never
seen
my
that
first
too. It's not always like if you're looking at percentage, this is what I would say, at least in my experience. If a guy has crash test, then there would be um, a lot of people who have libido issues, but then there's some that don't, and so it's like a quarter of the group would have no issues, and then the rest of the group would have issues, and they have crash test.
yeah,
And then the stress component is almost always the the
cause.
common denominator across all of it.
Yeah.
But if you were just going to address the blood flow issue, because I'm thinking about this one guy right now that I worked with, actually like in an old job of mine, and even like Viagra didn't do much for him.
No, that's the thing is so when you think about Viagra and Cialis, there's some people that get zero from it. I remember how old was I? It's 23 and it was liquid, so who knows how reputable it was. But I took 50 milligrams of Cialis at once just to see.
Hmm.
It did absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
I always used to do 10 to 15 milligrams pre-training. It doesn't work that. It was like with Ben with his at the Chicago Pro. I think he took, I can't, it was like 20 milligrams we took before prejudging and then night show.
Yeah,
I remember, I mean, when people hear that, like, oh, he's gonna get on stage and whatever, and
have an
it's
erection.
not like right. But Viagra and Cialis don't work like that. It's like people don't realize, and this is always interesting. I remember I was senior in college and I was in a pharmaceutical class, and uh, we all had to one of our final projects. We all had to pick something to talk about, and me and my buddy, we talked about Viagra and Cialis.
Hmm.
One, I thought was hilarious, but two, if you like, I wanted people to truly understand. I was thinking from a bodybuilder perspective,
Sure.
understand what they are made for. Cialis and Viagra were initially made for blood flow and blood pressure. It wasn't made for ED. What they found, I probably could dig up the research or maybe dig up the presentation, but what they did is they had the guys that were taking it for blood pressure when they were testing it, if I recall, and guys were getting erections. But they also found those same guys were thinking inappropriately at the same time. So you know what I mean? And that's how they figured
Right.
out it was not like, wow, okay, this is a blood pressure measurement, but can't help with that. But those same guys had to be in that state or
Hmm.
in that mental state as well, which again, I think goes back to the mindset, mental state point of view first with a lot of this and not necessarily just that.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me, and you can probably speak to this more than I can, at least from a scientific perspective, maybe. Um, so the like Viagra, since the Viagra and Cialis kind of works on the blood flow part, right? It's the what do they call it? Inhibitor. What is it?
PDE, the PDE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PD inhibitor or whatever, which increases blood flow in the capillaries or whatever.
Yep.
That's the main goal of it. And then you have something like melanotan 2 or
Yeah.
PT141, which acts differently, right? It acts in the brain and it's the excitatory part of the brain. So it actually gives you sort of an excited, it puts your brain in that mode of like, it can easily get excited. And the higher the dose, the worse it is.
Hmm.
So one time, one time we were doing melanotan to get a little tan for the
Yeah.
summer, and I misdosed it
Oh,
because
you took way too much. Yeah.
I took way too much. And so there's two things that happen. You have a histamine response,
Yeah.
and so you feel terrible. And so I was able to like, take some stuff to get that down. But then the next thing was like, man, for the next 24 hours, it didn't take much but the wind to blow for me to have anything go on. And now, granted, I don't know that that's like a viable option for everyone, to do. But do you ever implement something like that for people,
With the melanotan too. So
or the
if it's
PT
like,
141?
yeah, so like if it's like blood flow, I still do like pycnogenol with the Gotu Cola. I usually just opt for
Mm-hmm.
the combination, but if someone can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just use pycnogenol at like 150 to 200 milligrams.
Yep.
And then I'll usually go straight to 10 milligrams of citrulline or 10 grams of citrulline daily
Yep.
as well. That's usually I do blood flow. And then with the PT 141, I've given it to guys before. I find it loses effectiveness
Over
over
time.
time. Yeah. It's kind of like the Delta sleep peptide, DSIP.
Yeah.
It's
The
one of those things you lose
pineal. Yeah.
effectiveness.
Hmm.
So I've used that one and then melanotan 2. Usually I'm using it from the tanning aspect, but I have had individuals where I'm like, hey, let's use it from this aspect, from the
Right.
ED perspective. And maybe they had other benefits they needed. Maybe it was like the insulin resistance benefits. Maybe, I mean, you get a little bit of fat loss from it, from that aspect. But I think a lot of it is like timing. It's not you take this and automatically works.
Oh no, it's
And
like
it's
hours
usually
later.
like if they take it at night, because I tell most people take it at night if we're thinking color and skin, like skin tone or whatever. And then in the morning, then they notice those
That
benefits.
they're darker. Yeah.
Yep. And then they notice some like the improvements like with the ED side. If
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I'm going to use this strictly for ED, then I'm probably going to say, hey, let's do a very, very small dose in the morning. Let's throw some quercetin and maybe some vitamin C in there to help with histamine if we're
Right.
worried about that impacting it. And in theory, they typically will feel better from the ED side. And the ED
Right.
kind of works in that aspect.
Have you ever seen it from a perspective of a woman using it?
I think you and I talked about that. You had
Hmm.
a client. Yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've used the PT. I've told a coach to use the PT 141 for that for females. And I think some functional doctors give that to females, like menopausal females, for that
the
reason.
the melanotan will it's all dose dependent, right? But it
Yeah.
will, I mean,
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah, it was
it'll
you that was telling
definitely
me you had a
increase it.
case with that. I think I've never had a female ask to use the melanotan.
Right.
I think I've had one because they knew a client that
That tried it or whatever. Yeah.
was using it for like color. I'm like, yeah, just use it at this dose. But we didn't think I wasn't using that aspect, but it would work. I mean, I don't know why
Right.
it wouldn't. It's the same reason why Viagra works for females as well. There's some
Right.
compounding pharmacies that will put Viagra, estradiol, and a little bit of testosterone in a like a suppository or in a
No
cream.
kidding.
Yeah, I had a client. We just talked
How
about.
is that? How is that
Man, I had
for is
never.
HRT? Is it HRT too?
Yeah, like it was because they sent it to me. I'm like, I said, "Do you know what this is for?"
Is it
They said,
daily?
They were doing it 2 to 3 times a week, and they're applying it. She was like maybe 51 or 52, and she had a full hysterectomy, and she was doing it intravaginally 2 to 3 times per week, and then
Huh.
she ultimately ended up stopping it because her test levels, dude, were through the freaking roof. They were like over 200 or something like that.
Was because the dose of the test was really high?
Yeah, I've brought her test dosing down so many times at this point.
So I wonder if you did like 1 milligram of test in a suppository like that, and then you do it every other day, that'd get you about 5 milligrams, maybe.
I would think, yeah, I would assume.
Maybe that would make it better. You think it
Yeah.
would be better?
Yeah. I would assume that's the first time I've ever seen it used in that aspect,
Huh.
personally. I've never,
I want to ask Matt about that. I wonder if he
and
could do that.
I almost wonder if they can because they got it from a compounding pharmacy with their doctor. And I had to
Interesting.
dig research because I looked at the abbreviation as SILD, which is like the whatever the actual term for Viagra is, Silda, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, I looked at it, I was like, I've never seen this before. I said, what is this ingredient? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, can you send me a picture
Did
of
it
the
affect
bottle?
her? Did it affect her sex drive?
It improved the more I pulled back her test.
Right.
And then we still kept that in, but as I improved her test and brought down other things, it went through the roof. Because obviously she's had ovaries, uterus, and everything removed.
Right.
But that's the first time I've ever seen that given by anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
I've never seen that my entire life.
For sure.
I've seen females be given Viagra or Cialis, um, from that aspect. So I would say that's the second thing, and the third thing would obviously be like if it's hormone related, okay, then maybe that's where they need like TRT. I would
Hmm.
say TRT, and then if it's a female, maybe they need to take actual estradiol at the same time.
How often are you seeing estradiol? Because I don't see it very often.
I always start people with testosterone, but I have some that are like in their 50s. I find they don't do very well to testosterone. I have to
Yeah.
keep it at a very low dose. And then to get enough, because they're not getting to
Is it
get more
because it
coverage,
converts too much?
I think, but then we'll cover 5 alpha reductase and everything. I think it's just they are not responding well to it. It's the same reason why I see some people do very well with only the creams and they do terrible with the injection. And I don't know if that's carrier oil. I don't know if it's
Man,
just
I never see that, dude. I see
really.
the
Mm.
yeah, I see the cream being terrible.
No, I've had multiple cases where the cream was way better and they
No
did
kidding.
terrible with the injection. And I don't know if it's but I thought usually it's like a cottonseed or grapeseed oil they'll have an issue with. But I've had
Uh-huh.
some where they go MCT oil and they still feel miserable. And I don't know why.
Really?
We move them to a cream, it works well. So I think with adding the estradiol, I think usually the only time I ever have to do that is if we're talking they're in straight menopause, like 50s, and they're just not able to take enough testosterone to convert.
Yeah,
Then that's where maybe they need like estradiol patch
sure.
or something like that.
That makes
It's
sense.
not often, but I've had at least 3 on my roster within the last few months where that's the case. We have to go
That's
that route.
crazy.
Yeah, it's not super common.
Yeah.
So I guess like maybe that's the third place. And so like if I was like to package it up like a bow, let's say I'll use strictly males. If someone comes to me like, hey, I have ED,
Hmm.
I'm always gonna be okay, well, a lot of it's stress. Let's work on this, let's work on that, maybe dig a little bit deeper.
One question.
Yeah.
Do you have a stress intake form?
It's kind of built in their questionnaire with other
I'm just
questions
curious.
or like
Yeah.
symptom assessments because like my symptom assessment is so long. I'll do that. And then my other intake is on that first call. I'm
Yeah.
just watching when they talk to me,
Yeah.
how they
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
things. I can
Yeah.
usually tell
Hmm.
pretty quick. I'll ask more questions. Okay, well, you wrote this. Tell me more about this. And I can tell they're very stressed or maybe they don't feel
You
they're
ever
stressed.
notice that the cadence in the which the way they speak is just like, and
Yep.
you're like, you're calming them down, calming them down, and then do you ever tell them about it? You're like,
I
hey,
will indirectly, I'll be like, hey, have you ever noticed how you talk like this? Or if I get like I'll ask one question and I get a 10-page essay
yeah,
to that's a yes or no question. I can
yeah,
tell right away this is probably a type A person. They overthink everything. They stress about the
right,
sky being blue,
right,
every single thing. So yeah, I usually just build it in. There's some questions in there, and then I always require a call. I get on that call and
yeah,
ask them questions. But if it was like, okay, males came with ED, I'm obviously going to talk to them about the stress side, get them to chill out. I'll provide some research that shows how much that impacts everything. I'll tell them do things like, hey, let's limit microplastics, let's limit this. Maybe I recommend them switch to like a merino wool underwear to help. That way they're not getting all the plastics and BS and underwear and that type of thing. And then
Is that what you're wearing right now?
they're in the box. I need to make a post about it. Not right now. Mine are all cotton, but
Do you
I'm
like
gonna.
them?
I do. What I want to do is because I've only tried them all. I haven't really gotten to wear them.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping to do is do an experiment where I do initial blood work without them and then retest.
Mm.
I'm curious to see where certain things are at with like testosterone level.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see
We'll
with
see.
you.
I mean, because I'll just stay on my same level of TRT I would normally be on and just see.
Right.
If I see it goes up more, okay, then clearly there's some to it. I know of a few guys that have done that and it's improved. I mean, we'll see.
So I wear bamboo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or not, but that's what I wear.
I mean,
And
I think it's anything
it
better than what most guys are wearing, what you're usually wearing, like the spandex crap
right.
or whatever.
Uh,
So yeah, if someone came to ED, I'd say, hey, let's move to that. Probably don't carry your phone in your pocket so that electric waves aren't zapping your nuts. And
So
then,
here's another question
yeah,
on that with the EMF stuff.
yeah,
Do you have an EMF blocker on your phone?
I don't.
Do you believe in it?
You know, an in-person client of mine, me and him always argue about the EMF stuff because he'll be like, the
Tell me his
EMFs,
argument and yours.
his arguments is the EMFs and phones and everything can't do anything. But I really disagree. I think there's enough I've seen enough tangible stuff to see that. Whereas he thinks with like the power lines, like he'll say, he's like, your house is safe, but this house down there, living on that power line, he's like, they're fucked. They're probably gonna have brain cancer. They're probably gonna have a lot of issues, and their kids are gonna be screwed. My argument is, I just think there's a level of EMF from every single thing. If we can limit it, great. Does that mean everybody needs to get a blocker? No, I will say if I have a couple that is struggling with fertility, I'm not opposed to telling them I think you should use an EMF blocker. Probably turn off your router at night. Probably don't have a lamp next to your room, not having phone in your room.
Right.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't personally use anything.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't put my phone in my room. I put it in the bathroom. I do have a lamp beside my room or beside my bed.
Yeah, because what
I
was
was
it?
wondering if you have one of those uh, plugs that naturally cut it off,
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
at the site. I wonder if that would be helpful.
I think it would. Um, because I got the lamp stuff from Jake, but we were more talking about it from like an insulin resistance standpoint.
All
Um,
right, so to explain that.
I have to dig into it. I haven't read it anymore. I haven't dug into it. I think it was more from like the sleep standpoint, like you would have any blue light. I think it's more that.
Oh.
I
So
think that's
what
been
we
the main
do,
element.
we have a light that you can dim or that you
Okay.
can change colors. So sometimes we'll just put it on like an amber color, and that way we don't ever have
See,
any
because
real
we
blue
have red
light.
light bulbs in ours,
Right.
in all of our lamps and all of our
Also,
stuff.
it's like a fancy like
It
you
looks
guys
weird,
are
dude. It does look
like
weird.
a
Like if we have our, because our blinds like
like
keep.
all your neighbors are like, oh, there's Val, there's Val and Trey again
Well, because
in
they
the
go up
red
and down, but
lights.
the top you can pull down and have only the top view. I always joke, she's like, our red lights are on. The neighbors are like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not saying what the hell. They're saying they know exactly what's going on.
but we put that in everywhere in our house because our lights so dim. We want to put dimmers in. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to telling someone to do the EMF. I haven't actually tried it. I know like they make the mats where you can put your computer on your lap and it supposedly blocks.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the company I usually tell people, I think it's Bond Charge or Bond. I think it's Bond Charge is how you pronounce it.
What about the PMF mats?
Yeah, that was like another one. I don't know. I've never looked into them enough.
So I have this dear friend of mine. His name is Brooks. He's in his 60s, and he's kind of like taken this role on as like a mentor of mine, like a mentor in like a lot of different ways, not like just like the way that you would maybe mentor
Yeah.
me on something, or the way that Austin would or Sam would or something. But like, man, he's just a really interesting guy. And so when I first got to know him, it was on the premise of psychedelics. And so him and his wife, Jessica, and their beautiful couple would go down to this place called Rhythmia. And Rhythmia is down in Costa Rica, and they do ayahuasca. So he would tell me, bro, you got to go down and do ayahuasca, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, every single time I've ever heard anybody talk about ayahuasca, it's the furthest thing that I want
Yeah.
to do. Because they're like, I'm, pooping and throwing up at the same time. And that just does not sound like the thing that I want to be doing. And so ultimately, we got to chatting about all the various different things that we do to try to be healthy. And he he was like, dude, have you looked into PMF mats? And I was like, I haven't yet, but I have the newbie, which is essentially like a
Yeah.
specific PMF type machine to a degree, because you can put it on a certain frequency, and then you can run that frequency on that body part, and then it does whatever it does. And so different frequencies do different things. And there was a point where I just didn't believe it. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Frequencies for speakershies, whatever, it doesn't work. And but I was listening to a podcast, and do you remember Terrell Owens?
Yeah.
So Terrell Owens, when he was with the 49ers, broke his fibia. And when he broke his fibia, they used the newbie into do a specific frequency on his fibia,
Help with the
and
healing.
it healed it in like 6 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so anyway, we got in this long conversation. So he's bought this like fancy PMF mat, and he's using it. And he says he can tell a big difference.
I've never used it. I think I'm also like a cheap wad.
Well, yes, you
Yeah.
are,
I think
except
that's
for
what it
certain
is.
things.
Yeah, certain
Except
things.
for so like when I'm going to explain to everybody the way I view Trey. So if you go to Trey's home gym, the homeboy is not a cheapskate. Number one, because all of the equipment that he has put in his home gym is better than most equipment that you find in a regular commercial gym. Hands down, best home gym that's ever been made, ever in the history of the world. If I could duplicate your home gym, I would do it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So you're not a cheapskate. However, that's only if you believe in the thing,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you believe in the thing, you're going to go spend the money.
Yeah.
And so, but we have to have the right sales rep in front of you trying to sell
Right.
you on the
Yeah.
situation.
I have to view it as like a need, as like a
Right,
necessity versus like
right,
I'm not materialistic with like whatever
right,
else. It's just like
right.
that. But I've never tested it. I've never tested a lot of these things. Like there's studies on it. I'm sure there's Anthony when we have Anthony on next week, I'm one that
I
he does
cannot, bro.
yeah.
I cannot wait to have
Because
Anthony on.
Anthony does a lot of that stuff. He would be someone to ask. 100% because I know he tells me some stuff. I'm like, dude, I am not like he has one, it's like I can't remember what it is. Serrano gave it to him. And you put it like right here on your ears.
Uh huh.
Just leave it hanging.
Really?
Regular, yeah, you'll have to ask him. I can't remember the name of it because he's told me and sent me the links. I'm like, dude, I am not getting on my calls with these hanging from my ears. And he's done like, I've seen like presentations he does it on, or like if we've been talking, he'll put it on and just having a conversation because it does work. But
What
he
does
would
it
be
do? It's like stress.
best thing I think of is it just keeps him more regulated. You'll have to ask him.
No
I can't remember the
kidding,
name of it. I never looked into it,
man.
but he swears by it because Serrano is who gave it to him. But I think there's a lot of things like that I've never tried or dug into. But then like I've had people like my counselor has said like buy the EMDR paddles, put them in your shoes and just let it sit on a very low frequency and just let it and go work to keep me more regulated.
So let me tell you, the newbie,
Has that?
they call it a master reset.
Yeah,
And
Austin's told me about that. Yes.
so what you do is you put it on your feet and you put it on the back of your neck and you put it on a certain frequency and you lay there. Dude, it will rock your world.
Because Austin
You
used to
will
use it
fall,
in prep.
yeah, you'll fall asleep like you like died.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much it
Yeah.
relaxes you. Um, I mean, I remember the first time I ever did it. I think I woke up like 30 minutes later and it was like waking up from a coma. It was
Uh,
so crazy.
yeah.
I probably need to do it more often, to be honest. It does help you with like regulating yourself.
Yeah.
I need to do
Yeah.
that.
So I think there's a lot of tools out there, but like back with the ED stuff, like I would tell them the stress. I'd probably give some of the random things we've been talking about. And if there's like a supplement stack, like a male, I'm probably going to put them on like pregnenolone. That would help with
Can you
stress.
explain that for everybody?
Yeah, so like that's think of it as like the mother hormone. It's a precursor to DHEA, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone. I've seen some guys, and this is why I'm not a big believer of if someone has low energy, low test levels, they need to go on testosterone because the amount of times I've seen it where they are very stressed out, they take the TRT and they're like, "Oh, I still feel like crap." I give them pregnenolone, all of a sudden they feel freaking fantastic.
And
Right
it's
away, I can tell you
DHEA.
it was a stress issue. That they just needed actual pregnenolone, like
Right.
because you can test for it. I don't ever test for it,
Yeah.
but I would automatically put on the pregnenolone because it would cover stress, cover some of the adrenals. It'd be a precursor to everything. That'd be a good like baseline that everyone would do naturally, even
So like
females.
100 to 200 milligrams
If it's
per
a
male.
so
Enhanced male.
it depends. If it's a female, I will always start at anywhere from 10 to 50 milligrams to a test
Right.
tolerance. But then I will typically bump them up to 50 to 100 milligrams total. If it's a male, I usually start at 100 milligrams, but there's times I've went as high as 200 milligrams.
Right.
There's some studies where they've dosed, I think, like up to like 800 milligrams, and they were using
Really.
specifically for like back injuries and back pain.
And what would that? Oh, it just reduces pain.
Yeah, I don't, that was another thing that me and Jake he just happened to shoot me a study on. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm never going to use it for that aspect, but it was like, worked for
I mean,
King.
think about that though.
Yeah.
Like Don's had back pain for a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if it'd work.
You could try it. I would
Huh.
start at 50 milligrams, see how she feels in a couple weeks, go up to 100. So Pregnella would be one. And
So if there's
then
a negative side effect to it, would it be too excitatory?
I've seen them be very anxious, or I've had some just they cannot sleep at all on
Okay.
it. And so I will just, and I think there's something where it impacts like the glutamate conversion. I don't
Right.
remember what it was.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Joe Jeffries posted something about that, or maybe a
It's
month
like
or so ago.
it's excitatory. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've only had a couple like a couple individuals where it's like that. Both of them were females. Males, I haven't.
Wouldn't you say like most hormones are excitatory to some degree?
Yeah, I would argue. I mean, you
I
could
mean,
say
because
like think of someone that has Graves and they produce too much thyroid, can't freaking sleep. Their like eyes are,
right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? I would argue
Yeah.
most of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
True.
progesterone would be. Well, I'd make an argument with
You
progesterone
go
for
too
some.
far with progesterone, it's excitatory too.
Yeah, it raises their cortisol levels and they get stressed out. So
Right.
I would argue maybe most of them. I mean, I mean maybe the only one that wouldn't be excitatory, maybe like insulin, but I would argue it's excitatory if they're hypo and they like I need freaking food right now. You know what I mean? So I guess for a stack, you'd be like pregnenolone, blood flow. I'd probably throw in pregnogenol with uh, L-citrulline, and then if I thought they needed something else to like chill out, maybe some like theanine.
You mentioned L-carnitine earlier.
Carnitine would be another one, maybe.
Yeah.
I usually use that from like the fertility standpoint. It could be oral. Oral, you just have to dose it really high or injectable. But you get,
Do
I
you
think
prefer injectable?
I do if they'll,
Yeah, that's what I
it's
do
just
too.
tedious for some people. And finding
Right.
a decent, I mean, maybe it's easier to find a source now. It didn't used to be. Um,
I think
as
it's easier now. I think you can get it
yeah,
from BioLongevity Labs, which is
yeah,
kind of expensive, but that's
yeah,
a legitimate spot.
yeah. So I think that's like an overall like guy comes to me with libido. That's gonna be one I use, like a
Yeah.
libido issue. Throw them on that. I would do all that, see how they feel. They feel
I think
great.
that's cool.
Yeah, I've had a few enhanced guys that we've done that and it's worked wonders. I very
Yeah.
seldom have to be like, okay, is this a high estrogen issue? I don't usually get that. It's usually like a low estrogen issue, and maybe at and if it's enhanced, maybe it's an issue where we need to raise their tests or lower their DHT
Lower, yeah,
driven.
the DHC.
Yeah,
Yeah, for me, like, man, like Austin, I remember the first time we ran Primo, and the Primo I have or had, since it's non-existent now, for the most part, the Primo I had was very strong. It like the HPLC test came back at like, it's 200 milligrams per ml, but it came back at like 225 and 100%,
yeah,
pure. So whatever you were taking, you were taking more than you were normally taking if with
yeah.
whatever you were thinking on the label. And Austin had me do 500 tests and 200 Primo. And bro, I felt like a dead person. It was
Yeah,
crazy how
yeah,
much it dropped my estrogen,
yeah.
or how not
It
sensitive
can
I am to
crash
estrogen.
people. Like
Yeah,
I know people like think Masteron does a better job with it, but I'm telling you, Primo, if there's something that's gonna be crashing it, it's always that.
yeah.
Like I've
I
seen
also,
it.
do you think it's sensitivity too, where it's like I just don't think I'm sensitive to estrogen. Like even from a standpoint, if you drove it high,
Yeah,
I'm not getting sensitivity
yeah.
of my nipples. I'm not getting
I think it's
sensitivity in
that.
other areas.
Maybe you're like me, you just don't convert a lot.
Right,
But I've had some guys that aromatize a crap ton
right,
that were like, okay, we have to do this amount of tests. If they do more, it ain't gonna work. Like they're just gonna throw
right.
this on it. Where even if I put just a little bit too much primo for someone that over aromatizes,
It's
they'll
over.
immediately fix. Yeah. So I always have to split it between Masteron and Primo. Ben's like that.
Mm,
We can't dose his
interesting.
Primo too high at all.
So you
I
do
have
the
an older
you do
guy,
a
he's in his
combo.
fifth. Yeah, I have an older guy in his 50s. If we just threw in a little bit of Primo, like what I did is he was on 300 milligrams of tests when he came to me. I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go 200 tests, 100 Primo, see how you feel. We retested his labs in a few weeks, and his estrogen was non-existent. I was like, well, clearly we can't do that. We just need to
Yeah,
bump you up,
yeah,
go about it that way.
yeah. For me, um, we never looked at my labs because it was like just a pain in the butt to go do real quick. But um, what we ultimately did in that bulk is he pulled the Primo out at the time, and then he bumped it. He bumped the 200. He put 500. I think he bumped it to 600 test is what he did, and
Oh,
then
you put
from
EQ in there?
there, then we started. He put Primo back in at 100, and so I was fine. And then once we started tacking it, building the dose up, ultimately I think where we ended at the very peak of the bulk, I was like 800 tests, 200 Primo, and like just a smidge trend at the end.
At the very end.
And dude, I felt like awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as soon as that, I mean, even if I made a mistake on the Primo injection, man, I could tell it.
Yeah.
I could tell it within minutes.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Some people are just super sensitive. I think for me, it was hard to tell because at the time when I was using Primo, I was also using 1,000 milligrams of test. So it's kind of impossible to tell. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, I think at that time I was doing 1,000 tests, 1,000 EQ, and like 800 Primo, and I didn't notice
Man,
anything.
could you hear your blood go through your veins?
No, my blood pressure was great. I mean, my blood viscosity is always thick, but I think a lot of that's more sleep apnea related than anything.
Sure.
But I didn't notice it. But I will say when I just did testosterone with Primo or a little bit too much Masteron,
Mhm.
I always felt miserable. Like I was the guy that did terrible with like the low test, high DECA.
Oh
And
gosh, I
oh,
would.
I was
Oh,
miserable. Yeah, I remember that was something Austin and I tinkered with. It was like 2019. No, it was 2018. And
gosh,
I
I
felt
you see me
god
jump
awful.
off a bridge.
I
This
was
is terrible.
miserable. Like I was like, you know what, screw that. And I just bumped up the test and went my
Yeah,
so I think those are all the things I usually look for.
yeah. I
I
think
mean,
I think that's I think that's pretty good. Is there anything else that we want to add to the episode? We've kind of been all over the board, but it's just
yeah,
kind of a catch up. Oh, my business. I
yeah.
didn't talk
Talk
about
about
that.
that. Yeah.
So, it used to be Foundry Training Nutrition. It is now going to be True Optimal Performance. You can visit me at trueoptimalperformance.com. We have a new logo. We have a new site. Um, I have some new offerings. So I'm going to start uh, a group coaching class
What are you gonna do for that?
where,
I'm curious.
so I'm probably going to do like one, and I don't know, I don't have it nailed down because I don't have enough people yet.
Yeah.
In fact, I just got an inquiry about it, but where they can check in like once a month on a group call. But at the beginning, I kind of set them up with habits and I set them up with basics and stuff. And then they're accountable to that call once a month or twice a month, whatever we decide to set it up. And it's probably going to be like max 10 people in a call,
Yeah.
right? So you can take enough questions. If they have questions, you can go over whatever's
Yep.
happening and kind of have a group conversation. And then you can go on to the next thing. But it's almost like a self-guided
Yeah. Are they gonna be able to reach
process.
out in between, or is it solely you need to
Just
set
that call.
to call? Cool.
Yeah,
Are
save
you
it for that
tailoring it
call.
to them, or is it
Yeah, everybody's going to be it's going to be tailored to them, but it's also going to be based on just basic principles, right?
okay?
So like all the plans are going to be similar because a lot of the people it's just they just need some sort of structure, they need some sort of training, they need some sort of nutrition and they have it for them specifically. And then the guidance part of it, they're doing it on their own and then we're doing a check-in
Yeah.
on that weekly call and then they can say, well, I ran into this and this, can we make some adjustments? And then I can make adjustments and then we all meet on another call.
Did you get that from Sam?
No, I'm seeing a need for it from a cost perspective
Do you think it
and it
calls in like a
touches.
community as well? Like if they show up to
Yeah.
call, I'm struggling with this, and they're like, "Oh, I'm actually struggling with this," or because you can almost let the
Yeah.
clients guide the call.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the point. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the group part of it, but I also think it's like the people who struggle with checking in. Like there's like these two types of people. I have people who are really good at checking in and they're really good at following instructions. And then there's other groups of people that they don't check in that often. They don't do great, you know, on that stuff. And so we don't change the plan that often.
Yeah.
So the full service coaching suite, they don't necessarily need, but they do need some sort of guidance and direction. And sometimes that can be a consult or sometimes that can be like a group coaching thing.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for more inquiries on it to kind of like launch it per se.
Yeah.
But then I've got my standard 6 months or 12 months with me specifically. And I did pick up two mentorship clients
Oh,
with
sweet.
just two coaches. So like, and it's like blood work.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about like coaches that really don't know a whole lot, and
Are
they
you
just need
doing
some.
like they bring things to you, or are you having a set curriculum of what you're gonna go over with
So
them?
they're bringing things to me,
Okay.
and I do have a curriculum that I'm building in the background to like help, but I'm doing it based on what they need. So like whoever comes up next, they're going to get the information that these two are kind of giving me
Okay.
that they need. But like at the end of the day, like they don't know anything.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, they don't know much of anything. So it's like literally starting from scratch.
Okay.
Now, granted, they can manipulate macros and stuff like that, but and they're not, I mean, I don't even know that they're bad at it. I just don't know that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's not like sitting in a room. Like if you and me and Austin were all in a room, it'd be a whole lot different conversation than the conversations I'm having with these two coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Um,
I have one gal that I mentor, and all I literally do is I just tell her, bring whatever, and we just go through it. She's kind of the same way. Well, I think she's more developed than these people.
right,
And she'll just bring, like, recently we've been doing more business stuff.
right.
But then, like, if it's like mapping out a plan, she's coming from working with, same Jason Phillips. Does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, it does. I don't know who it is though.
Nutrition, what, I can't remember. He used to mentor a lot of people. Um, I think it's Jason Phillips. Um, where like, yeah, I think that was his name. But I will have her just bring whatever case, and we'll go right there. So like we've had some where we went through blood work. I had one where she actually had the client on the call, and I went
Hmm.
to the lab work with both of them because she needed to learn, but also two,
Yeah, I have an option to do that
I've
with,
done
but I
that. I
think
don't
that
prefer it at all.
mm-mm,
But it was kind of necessary for this case. And then we've had some calls where I think she brought a client there mapping out, she was mapping out the guy's nutrition. And then what I did is I just shared my screen. I said, we're just gonna map out this right now. And I just mapped out a full plan within like a few seconds.
sure,
Mills, macros, everything. She's like, well, what was your calculation? There is no calculation. I look at where he is, I type it all out. Okay, this is about where I pictured him anyways.
right.
So that's how we've been doing it. I think recently it's been more business stuff than anything, setting up her tiers of her coaching, what's
Mm.
realistic, setting new boundaries and guidelines, what she needs to do.
It's really helpful to do
Guys.
that.
Yeah, because no one, I mean, I didn't
Talks
have
about that.
anyone, I didn't have anyone really do that. I mean, I've just
It's
kind of,
just conversations that you and I probably had over time
yeah,
of what me learning on the fly.
yeah. I mean, a lot of mine I'm just figuring out as I go. Because,
Right. It's
like when
like
me, Dave, or Alston or Jake or whoever talk, it's not, I don't usually talk about that. It's just more knowledge or application based. But the business, it's been kind of figure out
it's so important too because
as we
people don't
go.
have any boundaries with things.
Mm-mm, no. So that's cool, man. Is the site up and everything? It's
The
fully
site
up.
is up.
Up.
Like I was kind of mentioning to you before, there's compliance things that you have to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the process of like refining that issue right now and then relaunch, like publishing it. So the site you can go on, you can schedule like a free like call if you want, if you're inquiring about coaching. That's like a 30-minute call.
Yeah.
There's a consult call that you can get on and pay for a consult. There is a whole list of testimonials from my current clients and past clients. There's a little blurb about me and my history and all of that. I'm waiting for like a family photo because I have this really sad looking photo of me on the site, but it's from my old like photo shoot with my Foundry stuff, and it has my shirt hidden,
Yeah.
so you can't tell
Yeah. You need
that
to
it's an
do
old
that.
photo. But I need to get a picture of me and Don and Landon the dogs so I can
Yeah.
put it there.
That'll be
And
cool.
then yeah, and so the coolest part about it all is there is a back end that I'm building to have where I can log into my website and that will log me into my app.
Yeah. Keep talking.
And my app will be mobile for Apple users first, and then I'll get it utilized for Android users. But once I launch it, you will see check ins will navigate to that app. Training programs will transition to that app. Meal plans will be on the app. Lab work can be stored on the app, and there's a few odds and ends else that will kind of pop up with the app. And so the goal is to make it easier for people to communicate back and forth with me, because there'll be a messages section too. They can still text me, but it'd be
Yeah.
cooler if people would just message me through the app and we can manage it all through the app. Because I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes, like if a client will text you, it's better if it's all in one place. So like
Yes.
I would rather somebody email me so that when I pull up my email, I have the message, right? It's like, hey, can you change my training program or whatever it is? And then I can pull up all the rest of their emails and I can see, what did I send them last time? What did we talk about? All these other things that matter, because well, you're an individual person and your plan isn't everybody else's plan, believe it or not. So I don't remember your plan. And so, like, for you to think that I can just automatically change whatever it is that I put on your plan. Now, granted, if you're one of my competitors and I'm talking to you on a regular basis because you're in prep, yeah, that's a little bit different. But like, if you're a person who's checking in weekly, I don't know what muscle rounds you're doing in said training program, and I don't know what we need to change. So I'm trying to get it all in one place so people can we can manage the information, but also the communication through the app, and they feel like they have a little bit more, I guess, touches with me. Maybe I don't know, and honestly, like I'll give the person credit who brought it up. Is my sister. I'm coaching Lindsay, and Lindsay was like, "Dude, I want to help you make an app. I think the app would be cool. It'd be better than the software that you're using, and this and that and this." She gave me all these things to do, and I kind of went off one afternoon because I was trying to build a habit tracker, and then it's just blown up into this whole app. So anyway, that's the long and short of it, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited. The logo is an eagle. The reason for the name change is it's just Foundry just wasn't what I was doing anymore. That was based off of like bodybuilding only, and the whole thought of it was most people, and honestly, most people don't even know what a foundry is, but foundries melt metal down and make things. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm molding physiques over here, and that's I was using foundry as an example, as a way to mold physiques through training and nutrition. Well, the true optimal performance, true is a nod to Jesus. He's the truth, but it's also a nod to the fact that I got to tell everybody the truth that I talk to, right? I got to tell them the truth about their life. I got to tell them the truth about their situation. And then through telling them the truth and building them a program, we're pursuing optimal, in all of these different areas of our life, whether it be mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever. And then those transformations to optimal are helping us perform in all of these other areas of our life that we want to perform in. And it's not just a physique development thing. It's not just a BJJ competitor. It's not just a bodybuilder or a marathon runner or whatever. It's encompassing sort of everybody, because I do have lots of different types of people with different goals. And even my training philosophies have kind of had to change, and I've had to like be a personal trainer in certain aspects, from a I guess from a mobile perspective, and then also kind of like a physical therapist at the same time. It just kind of depends on what we're going through, because I have people who have injuries and things and stuff like that.
Right.
So ultimately, it was a change that's been much needed for a long time, and I think I've just gotten to the place where I could actually provide the bandwidth to do it. And it's I don't know. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Do you have any major goals for this year?
Um, I would like to be more. So I have a new Instagram too. I have my old one, but I've changed it to my name. So it's just Kenneth underscore Almond underscore. And then I have a new business Instagram, which is True Optimal Performance. And I would like to be more active on social media in terms of posting content. I would like to increase my revenue because I'd like to provide for my family.
Yeah.
I would like to become smarter in certain areas that I feel like I need to be challenged in. I would like to make as much of an impact for the kingdom as I can. Honestly, like that's the goal. It's like, how can I help people become who who they should be based on God's design?
Yeah.
So
It'll go well. It's already working out so
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's all positive and it's moving in the right direction. And I I'm excited to launch the app. The website's pretty sweet.
yeah.
So if you want to check us out, it's trueoptimalperformance.com.
Yeah. Sure. Are you still going to use are you going to use your personal as your personal, or are you going to use it as
Well, no,
business and cross post?
I'll kind of do it like a cross post
Do
thing
that
where
cross post.
if it's business related, I'll cross post it to True Optimal Performance.
Yeah.
But if it's like, you know, I don't know,
Yeah.
something about my wife or kid or something, I probably won't.
Just keep it
Um,
minimal.
but I'm yeah, I'm just really honestly, to be honest, I'm really proud of myself
Yeah.
because I'm like doing it. I'm doing it kind of on my
Good.
own, and it's tough to do it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the fact that you're at least making the time
Yeah,
to do it, I mean, that's a good thing.
you got goals.
Man, I hate goal setting. I am not a fan.
You
Um,
don't have to.
yeah, I hate it because I get very obsessive
Oh yeah.
about it. I don't like failing, so I get very obsessive. So I've tried not to set as many goals. I think I have some in mind. Like one is like getting our website done. Dude, it's been ready for almost 3 years. They're
Mhm.
waiting on me to put the content on there. And I'm very
Oh.
big on, I don't like to spend time doing something that is not directly in what is needed right now. You know what I mean? Like if it's
Hmm.
not pertaining to current clients, potential clients or anything like that, I hate putting time into it. And like,
I'll give you some stuff to do that's helpful after the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So like one is hopefully get the website done in Q1. Just so it can just be funneled, clients can just be funneled there. Obviously, like you got be opposite, which is like Valerie and I, and it's like local, in person, whatever. And then you have the IMH stuff. So what I'll do is, since the way our arrangement is with IMH, I'm a coach, but I almost consider I'm almost like a contractor. That's
Right.
always the best way I can think of it. So what I'll have it on there is like, at least for the online portion, it will show affiliated under IMH or whatever, because I want to make sure they understand like, hey, if you're signing up for this, you're technically under the IMH umbrella.
Yeah.
If you sign up for this, you're solely the opposite. Like I consider two different rosters. One's local, one is online,
Yeah.
just a different thing altogether. So I think that's one thing. The other is slowly is get these sheets, this backend system done. I think when we first started developing, it was like May of 24.
Yeah.
And that was another scenario where we went back and forth, but my ability to respond is way slower to correct it because it's the same thing. Like I have my system that works. This is just to make my life a little bit
They're
easier.
just waiting on you.
Yeah, I sent everything over in November, the rest of everything. We've been going back and forth all year, me and the gal, and now it's just waiting for her to get back to me with the adjustments.
Hmm.
And still with that, like Whether I'm gonna give everybody access to it, I don't know. I think I'll pick and choose. I think for me, regardless, I'll have full access. It'll make my life easier, and I can just make a
I
PDF.
mean, from what I understand, it's pretty sweet. I mean, from what
Yeah,
you've told me, it's pretty sweet.
yeah. So that's the other thing is like get that done. Slowly get each person one by one onboarded, and that'll be like a Valor and I thing doing together there. And then same thing as you, like be more present on social
Yeah.
media. That's when I did the podcast with Austin the other day, we were talking about like they're talking about things they've done differently for business. And
Mhm.
I still stand by this. My way of doing things for what I do is it's solely organic referral only. I
Right.
post my clients, I post reviews or testimonials of them. I share some faith-based things or motivational-based things, and sometimes I might get on there and talk. It's very seldom. And that's it. I should probably post more education stuff, but I'm not the social media guy. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It's always worked really well. But this year, I would like to make that a priority to be intentional with posting daily,
Right.
talk on there more, be present on there more, share more of what I know and ways I apply it. Um, and then the other one is just be more present daily with Valerie. I really am hoping this year. I think last year, because this will be our fourth year of me being home full time, or going in our fourth year. And it's like,
Congrats.
yeah, thanks, buddy. First year was like, okay, build the business and show and prove that I can do it. Cool. Second year is like, okay, I hit this number or whatever. Now I want to build on that, refine things. Last year was really like, hey, I'm going to really refine things and ease up my life, but it went the complete opposite. I would say this past year was one of the harder years I've had with doing this. And I think a lot of that was not making enough time for personal life, enough time with God. And I got very, it almost became a game with income. That
Yeah.
goalpost moves every more. And that's why I don't set money goals anymore, is because it becomes a game and you lose why you got into this in the first place, which is to help
Right.
people. And so, I think the second half of this past year, it required me to take a step back because I felt really broken middle of the year. Like right before I went to Montana, I felt very lost and very broken. I did not know what I was going to do anymore. So this year, I really want to keep refining that, making time for other things in life. Hopefully,
Well,
start.
in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, the very first thing that I would do if I were you is that back end that you're talking about. That's what I would finish.
Yeah. Well, so I've sent the content. Now it's just a matter of her fine tuning it. Once
Even your
that's over,
website, though, too. Like, I mean,
yeah.
um,
Because what I was going to do with the website, I don't know if you're going to do this. I'm just going to run ads through Google and just grow more than in person. Because I'll funnel that. Valerie will take on more. She has more availability. And then I will funnel some in person. Because the way I like to do it is I like to train from like 5 or 6 in the morning until noon.
mhm.
And then the way we want to make it is like noon to like 4 or 5. That's her part of the gym. I hate training in the evening, personally. And then so once the site done, hopefully funnel it that way, less of all the back and forth, and that should make it a heck of a lot easier. And then
Yeah.
from there, we'll see some of the other stuff I've told you off recording. So it goes. We're supposed to meet. I hope Saturday is what they told me
Oh, cool.
to fine tune that. And then once that's going, um, we'll see. I think the only other thing I'm wanting to dive more into this year is with the consults and the mentoring side.
Hmm.
I
It is
just,
a lot more fun.
yeah, I just enjoy it, dude. It's like, I don't know. I like to talk nerdy. That's why I like when we talk. Was I expecting to talk ED today? No, it came up and
Yeah.
I get to use parts of my brain I don't usually do unless it comes up. So it's
Right. Right.
like, which is why I like how we do it. We don't usually always have a set topic. We just take where it goes because I'm not the guy that says, "Hey, can you tell me all things about digestion?" It's like,
And we can also just talk about whatever we want to talk about.
right.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
like
have
I'm
to
the guy
be
that's
a thing that
situational.
we're smart about, right?
Yeah, like if you came in here and said, "Hey, we're gonna have an ED episode," I would have came here and be like, okay, there's a million things to this, but at least with this, it's very situational, and that's how my brain works with everything. It's all
Hmm.
situational. So I'm hoping this year, it's something Jake's really been pushing me to do is do more mentoring and do more consultation, self-guided stuff. Because anytime I tell Dave and him how many clients I keep on my roster, they're like, dude, that's just too many freaking people. Like that is just way too many. Like you got to pull back. And it's like, oh, kind of take what you get. You and I aren't coaches
It's
and
tough
coach.
sometimes. Like if you don't have the boundaries in place, right? Like if you don't have, so this is what I've seen, and we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
But like what I'll say is, so I've been doing this since 2013. In 2022, it was really, really an eye opener to me when my entire day was shot talking to clients almost all the time. Like,
Mhm. Yep.
and I was so emotionally distraught. I couldn't even figure out exactly where it was all coming from. And it was because I was just pouring myself out all day long, all day long, all day long. And so then I started to try to put boundaries in place. And as I started putting boundaries in place, the clients who didn't like it, they fell off. You want to know how many fell off? Like 25.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh,
It was like, I was like, well, I'm going to be out of a job. It was crazy.
yeah.
And I think I had like for about a 6 month period of time there, it was like 10 clients total. And so it was really rough. And then when the clients started to inquire again and like people started coming back, it was like I was setting a new precedent with boundaries that I had put in place. And so those types of people that I was started to work with, they were my people.
Yeah.
And as it's refined over the years, the more and more people I get that are my types of people, right?
It's
And
kind of
it's
like,
also,
I'll let you go. Sorry.
go ahead, go
It's
ahead.
kind of like Austin had talked about on podcast with Paul. It's Paul, is it?
Yeah. Oh, need.
And he was saying like I don't niche down. I niche down on the type of person, not the type
Right.
of client. And it sounds like that's what you're doing. You've niched down like
Yeah.
these are the people I truly want to work with versus taking every
Yeah.
person to the
It's usually maturity level. It's
yeah.
usually a understanding of like it's also a desire. Like there's a certain desire of the
Yeah.
type of person that wants to be better. And like those people start to like filter up to the top. And so once you get to that place where your boundaries are in place and they honor those, like for example, I've got text messages right now popping up while we're on this podcast, but none of them are like, you got to talk to me. You know, they're just, hey, like when you get a minute, will you loop back around with me?
Right.
And they honor my marriage, they honor my family, they honor my time off. They know that I'm a person and they treat me like one. And that's the type of people that I want to work with because the reality is, can I change your life? Yeah, I can change your life. Am I going to change my life trying to change your life? No, I can't.
Right.
I
Right.
can't. I'll lose everything.
Yeah. I think with us,
So,
like with the coaching thing, we're also not coaches that are trying to charge like 5,000 a month and
right.
do
Mhm.
ridiculous stuff like that. So that's why we typically take on a higher
And
number.
can you imagine $5,000 a month for a client? What would you do? What
You
kind
have
of
to talk to them
service would
every
you give
day.
them?
You have to talk to them every day.
It's
And I don't know if you
crazy.
could, I don't know if I could sleep at night knowing, you know what I mean? Like knowing, like I've had clients come in, they're like, hey, I want to pay for this service. I'm like, cool. We get 1 month into it. Like I had one, maybe it was a couple of years ago, they paid for a year in full plus texting and periodic like Zoom calls or whatever. They probably texted me 5 times the entire year. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I don't think you need this. I think some people like the idea of communicating a lot, and then they find
Yeah,
out
sure.
I actually don't need that. So like I feel like that's at least how I used to always price my services was how much communication, how much time,
How much
that type
time?
of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, but like I don't think like if you're charging that much, it's like what are you doing for them? And then you charge something like that, and then they still have like supplements if they're gonna take it, lab
Yeah.
work, food, and those are just the three things you can take care of. And you're
Right.
not accounting for everything else. You would have to be working with someone that is beyond loaded, or they are okay spending that amount of money, but at the same time, you would have to be providing some type of almost guarantee that's going to work out.
Well, I think I could probably provide a guarantee if I could get a guarantee they follow the
Yeah,
plan.
right. But I can't think of any case that would be worth
Sure.
that much. Maybe if it was like you need extreme hand holding all of the time,
I
maybe.
don't know. I mean, here's where it would be. Here's where the value would be. If I was talking to a client every day, that's a lot of value. I
Yes,
mean, I hate to say
100%.
it. Like, here's the deal. Like, I lead people all day long. That's what I do. That's really what my job is.
Yep.
And not only do I lead people that I work with, but I have people that come to me for advice all the time that are my friends, my family, my inner circle. Like there's a lot of value that I can give a person if they want my time and my mind and my conversation. So if you want that and like you're a person who is not in my inner circle, who's not a friend of mine, who I need to get paid for my time because my time is what I actually charge for to make a living for my family. If you want to talk to me every day, well, let's go. It's like I can make it worth your while, but at the end of the day, do you see the value in it? Do they see the value in it? And they may not. And I will say, there's more people that I've signed here recently that see my value
Yep.
because I don't know why,
Yep.
but they see my value. So
Yep.
if they see my value, then how do you prove the next level of value? I don't know. I mean, the ideal, I think the ideal situation would be to have a limited number of people that you work with, and whatever that number is, and then to be able to, um, I don't know, offer different types of things. Like that's why I'm thinking the group coaching, and that's why I'm thinking
Yeah. The
like more
self-guided and
consults
yeah,
and
100%.
the
Yeah.
mentorship stuff.
Yeah, and
So
that's what I'm trying to do this year is because I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it. There's just some people that cannot afford certain things, or maybe they don't even need to pay with that. Like let's say they have their life together. They just need proper guidance.
right,
They probably don't need to check in every week or every other week. They might just need a plan and a touch point once a month.
right,
And that touch point might be like, hey, the plan is working. Don't change it. Or if I when I do the self-guided stuff, it's like I do them in certain week phases. It's like this phase, do this. Message me at the end of this date. How are things
right,
going? Going good. Cool. Let's go to the next phase.
right,
Let's go that. Or there might be some where like I have to pull audible. And it's like, okay, you feel good here, but we're still noticing this. Let's spend a little bit more time in this phase.
right.
Then we'll go that. And that's usually like supplements or whatever.
Sure.
Because that's usually where I find the self-guided is needed is with the supplement health.
Right.
And I think with the group coaching, I think that what we mentioned with like community, be able to talk, hear other
Yeah.
people. And Valerie's mentioned the same thing. She's mentioned, why don't you do like a monthly call with all your clients? And they talk about something they're struggling with. And then
That would be
other,
That would be messy.
but you know what I mean? Like someone might pop in and be like, hey, I've actually noticed this and that type of thing. And it's just some things that we've been talking about. So no, I think that's like all I'm thinking about for the year. And then we see where things go, the podcast.
Yeah.
From
Dude,
there.
I'm excited about the new guests.
Yeah, yeah, because Anthony will be next week. Um, I've got to get back to I can't pronounce his name. He's in Australia. Dave and Jake would whenever I talk to Dave, I'll ask him. Jake, I'm waiting till he finalizes a few things. And then we got some other people that would
Yeah. I'm
do it. I
excited.
think we sprinkle it like guest us. And these are guests that don't usually do a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah,
It's not the same people you hear from. So,
for sure.
well, sweet man. Well, good call. I'll get this posted. Thank everybody for listening. Happy New Year's to everyone. And if you need anything, reach out to us.
See ya.
See ya.